Are you on Instagram? Are you with me on Instagram already or no?
Yes, I am. You can't see me? Oh, you just booted me out, man.
I'm sorry.
Not
Sorry about that, man.
cool. It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'll request it again. But yeah, we're live on YouTube right now. So
YouTube,
hello,
what's up?
YouTube.
YouTube, Facebook. Okay, requesting me and wave to me. That's almost there. Let me know.
Yes. So YouTube, thank you guys for watching.
YouTube.
Make sure you share it and all of that stuff if you like the episode. This one is about something that is very counterintuitive, counterproductive from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
The obstacle is the way. All right,
Yes.
so we're also live on Facebook as well, and I'm going to press record on this episode, probably episode 46 or 47. I really need to count. Starting in 3, 2, 1.
Leaders and healers, gamers and claimers, ladies and gentlemen from around the universe, from around the globe, from around the community, whoever you are, wherever you are, listening to this podcast passively or actively, this is the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. I am your host, Anthony Cheam, speaker, coach, life coach, trainer, love bug, friend, mentor, love bug. I just want to serve and give the best as what I can while I'm here. I'm a candle burning, and I don't know when my candle is going to go, but I know my candle is going to go giving to you people either on a podcast, singing, playing, coaching, whatever it is I'm doing. This is a podcast where we help you claim your power, clarify your purpose, and cultivate your deepest, widest, and highest passions so you can ultimately show up as a better and best version of yourself, a sharpened version of yourself, and then inspire others to do the same and inspire them to be a better or best version of themselves, inspiring the world to be better, to grow, to evolve, to produce, design, whatever life you want to live. You want to live with power, you want to live with purpose, and you want to live with passion. Thank you for joining us. This is Master Life Lesson number 5. Thank you for joining us for this whole entire week. This has been a tremendous week. I've learned a lot. Oftentimes, what I say to people is we often teach that which we need to learn the most. So these master life lessons are the person that's listening the most is probably me. Actually, I wouldn't say probably, it is me. And any life lesson that I teach, it's because I need to learn it too. So I'm here to serve you. I'm here to give you the master life lesson number 5, and it is the obstacle is the way. And that doesn't sound right, does it? The obstacle is the way. But before we start, I want to introduce my power partner here in Chatham, Ontario. I'm in Burlington. He's in Chatham. And thank you, Cam, for joining us. Thank you for putting this all together. What's going on, my friend?
Not too much, not too much. I'm sitting here in Chatham, about 3.5 hours away from you, using the power of the internet to connect. Also, one other thing. I did request on Instagram. Would you mind getting me in there again?
Yeah.
There's a lot of these technical difficulties. But hey, we're literally doing what would cost probably $10 million to do 25 years ago.
Oh, God,
so,
yeah, for sure.
The fact that we have the power to share to everybody like this is amazing. All right, Instagram just won't work. That's okay.
That's okay.
Tell Instagram I say hi.
You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it. Do it one more time. Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, if you want to like restart
try this
it.
one more time, guys. We're going to restart it. I'm going to get out my Instagram. I'm going to log back in. And
that works perfectly. So yeah, the obstacle is the way. I'm sure a lot of people, some people are probably thinking to themselves, okay, wow, what does that mean? But there's others who have noticed, wow, okay, because as an example, I started journaling and we had a whole episode about journaling.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, going back, like my journal, really, its purpose was to rant about all the crap in my life. Like that was it. I just wanted to get those thoughts on paper rather than in my head.
Yes.
And I noticed these patterns where, you know, on the 1st, as an example, I would complain about this. On the 5th, I would ask for this. On the 10th, I would get a huge obstacle. And on the 15th, I would look back and say, oh, the obstacle is how I got the thing that I asked for. And that's, so I'm really excited to talk about this because I completely agree. Like I've experienced it firsthand. So let's go.
Yeah. Well, listen, let me tell you something. If you've ever faced a personal life challenge, if you've ever faced a business challenge, if you've ever faced a spiritual challenge, a relationship challenge, any challenge whatsoever, and you ran from it, Let me tell you something about running from your challenges, running from your fears, running from the things that you know you need to face, but haven't conjured up the courage to actually face those things. Guess what happens? There's a saying my original mentor said to me a long time ago in my mid to early 20s. And he said this to me: anything suppressed will be expressed in later days in uglier ways. So if you basically, let me repeat that. Anything suppressed will be expressed in later days in uglier ways. So if you suppress them or deny them or say, oh, everything's fine, everything's positive, and nothing's wrong in my life, trust me when I say this, it's going to get worse and worse until you actually face it. So running away might be the temporary solutions, but let me tell you something. It just keeps on growing and festering and getting bigger and bigger. It's like a bear that's been hibernating for 6 months in the wintertime. It comes out to eat and starving and just wants to kill. And that's how the enemy inside unfolds, the inner cynic unfolds. Unless you deal with the problems that you face in front of you, guess what happens? It just continues to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. So my suggestion is, the reason why we call this podcast or this particular master life lesson, The Obstacle is the Way. It's written, actually, there's a book written by a guy named Ryan Holiday. He wrote a book called The Obstacle is the Way. He's a phenomenal writer. I've read a few of his books. He's a great writer. And let me read to you the story that he uses in this book. So I'm just going to read it. It's just a quick story. And it says, there's an old Zen story about a king whose people had grown soft and entitled. Dissatisfied with this state of affairs, he hoped to teach them a lesson. His plan was simple. He would place a large boulder in the middle of the main road, completely blocking entry into the city. He would then hide nearby and observe their reactions. How would they respond? Would they band together to remove it, or would they get discouraged, quit, and return home, run away, basically? With growing disappointment, the king watched as subject after subject came to this impediment and turned away, or at best tried half-heartedly before giving up. Many openly complained or cursed the king or fortune or bemoaned the inconvenience, but none managed to do anything about it. After several days, a lone peasant came along on his way into town. He did not turn away. Instead, he strained and strained, trying to push it out of the way. Then an idea came to him. He scrambled into the nearby woods to find something he could use for leverage. Finally, he returned with a large branch he had crafted into a lever and deployed it to dislodge the massive rock from the road. Beneath the rock were a purse of gold coins and a note from the king, which said this: the obstacle in the path becomes the path. Never forget, within every obstacle is an opportunity to improve our condition. Let me read that again. The obstacle in the path becomes the path. Never forget, within every obstacle, no exception, is an opportunity, not a problem, an opportunity to improve our condition. So whatever you're going through right now, and reflect on that Zen story, your challenges are there to upgrade your life. Your challenges are to hurt you or to hinder you. They're to help you grow in awareness and wisdom, in love and compassion, in strength and fortitude. A diamond cannot, one of my favorite lines I use on people is, how is a diamond formed? A diamond is just a rock or carbon that withstood stress. After heat, pressure, high temperatures, tons of pressure, tons of stress, comes out this diamond. Why is it that a diamond is worth more in the material world than, let's say, a pebble on the street? Because it takes a lot more to put together a diamond than there is to a pebble. That's what I'm saying. So the more struggle you're going through, as Napoleon Hill says, strength grows through struggle. So whatever obstacle you are facing, go in the face of obstacle, open the door, invite it in, make friends with your challenge, and move up. Raise your standard. It is not there to hurt you. A great metaphor for this in life, I've been a personal trainer for almost 20 years now, and I can tell you right now, how do you build muscle? You don't build muscle by taking 1 pound weights and making it easy and going, oh, I'm just going to do like 5 of them. You build muscle, strength, endurance, and stamina by pushing your body to a limit beyond your comfort zone. As I've heard once, one of my favorite lines about comfort is, there's no growth in your comfort zone, no comfort in your growth zone. So if you want to build muscle, you got to go throw those 1 pound, 2 pound weights, and you got to put those muscles, you throw 50 pounds, 60 pounds, whatever it is, and you take those muscles to failure. As I said in a previous podcast, if you want, what is the most important rep out of a 10 rep bicep curl? People say they're all important. The 10th curl or the first curl. I say the 11th, 12th, and 13th rep are the most important. The reason why is because those last reps where you are going to failure, that's where you're going to get the most gains. That's a great metaphor for life. When you're failing, that is when you're going to get the biggest gains. And that is absolutely true. That's proven in science that when you take a muscle to absolute failure, where you cannot do that last rep, you push it, that's where the most muscle is gained from that failure, when it's the hardest. So whatever you're going through, a relationship breakup, a job loss, a disease, all of a sudden you get diagnosed with diabetes or cancer, or you lose your home, or you've just lost a bunch of money in the stock market. Whatever challenge it is, get yourself out of yourself and ask yourself the question, how is this serving me right now? How can I learn from it? How can I extract a lesson from it? So it raises my standard, it raises my ability to my resilience ability, my persistence ability, my passion ability, my discipline ability, my determination. Get more determined. So when challenge shows up, get more determined. Don't be a slave to this idea that, oh, it's not supposed to be hard. It's going to be hard. I often say to a lot of my clients, my teenage clients, oftentimes I say this, listen, there are two envelopes of life. There's the hard way and the harder way. Which one would you like? There's not another envelope that says an easy way. Oh, I just want the easy way. I just want people to do things for me. Let me tell you something. There is no bus or envelope or plane marked easy way. As I heard in one of Jim Rohn's audios before, he said, imagine there was a self-help book that was released into the world. And the first chapter was, everything's fine. Second chapter, everything's fine. Third chapter, everything is still fine. Would you read this book? Right? No, you would not read, because that life is not going to be like that. So you got to first accept the fact that life is not going to be easy. It's not going to be fine. You got to say that, you know what? Life's going to be tough. But guess what? Tough times don't last. Tough people do. Get tough. As Les Brown says, if it's hard, you do it hard. That's how you gain that strength. You gain that leverage. You gain that edge. You gain that stability to know that you can push through any obstacle in your life. You know, I look back at my life right now as I'm talking about that. I've been through a few tough times. I'm not trying to compare myself to people that are listening to this podcast, but I've been through tough times. I just recently lost my mom. I found her in her home, literally gasping for her. I was the last person she saw. She was dying of a cardiac arrest, and and my father passed away of cancer. My best friend was killed at age 16 on a bike, and I've had my share of dealing with crime and the police, and suspended in high school 5, 6, 7 times, and having relationship issues, cheating, betraying. I've had it all. If you talk about being a person, if you were to predict to be a self-help leader or a life coach or a speaker or a person that writes books for a living, you would not pinpoint me. If you knew me 20 years ago, you would not do so, because I was not your typical guy that you go, that guy's going to be a success. That guy has going to be doing something with his life. You would not pinpoint, especially with the people I was hanging around too. Some of the people I was hanging around anyway. But the point what I'm saying to you, I look back and I go, wow, I do not wish those challenges on anybody. I don't wish that. But man, do I find myself giving thanks for those challenges, those gifts, those gems of wisdom, because you know what? Success is 99% failure, as the CEO of Honda said. I think his name is Soichiro Honda. His name is. He says success is 99% failure. As I also heard once, success is falling down 10 times and getting up 11, or falling down 1,000 times and getting up 1,001 times. I like the story of the KFC guy, Colonel Sanders, how he went around to 1,009 different restaurants before someone bought his recipe. And he made a profit from them buying more chicken as a result of his recipe. 1,009 times. How many people would have just had a recipe, an idea, and said, "Hey, I'll try it 10 times and then leave"? A lot of people. I think about that. 1,009 rejections, no's, man. But he realized his mindset was, I will find a way. His mindset was, for every no, I'm getting closer to my yes. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times creating the incandescent light bulb. And he was asked the question, how did it feel to fail 10,000 times? He said, no, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I figured out how 10,000 ways how to not make a light bulb. So it's all about shifting your perception, shifting your perspective on what challenge means. These are gifts in disguise. And as I heard one guy say, life is a series of God-ordained opportunities brilliantly disguised as problems. Let me repeat that. Life is a series of God-ordained opportunities brilliantly disguised as problems. Problems are there to elevate you. So in the next problem that you face, the next challenge that you face, smile at that problem and go, oh, this is good. This is going to be good. This is going to elevate me. You got to get excited about this stuff. I'm not just saying get overly airy-fairy and just, oh, everything's fine, and not look at the problem or dive into the problem and go to work to solve the problem. I'm not saying that. I'm saying identify the problem, go to work to solve the problem. And as Tony Robbins says, he says 5% of the time you should spend on identifying the problem and 95% on solving the problem and how to solve it. And so what is the point here? We're all going to have problems. We're all going to have challenges. But these are opportunities in disguise for you to step up. It's an invitation for you to step up and live the best life. That the people who are living the best life aren't the ones that are not having problems. Trust me when I say that. I just finished writing a book called Love Life, Let Go, and Live Free Now. In one of the chapters, I talk about a guy named Jim McLaren. Think about this guy. Jim McLaren, he was a guy that was like Hollywood, good looks, like Tom Cruise, superstar athlete, a Yale University grad. You know, the guy was unbelievable. He was a triathlete. He was a football star, and he wanted to be an actor. All these things. He just amazing things going for him. And then I think he got a motorcycle accident, and he lost his leg, and he became a Paralympic athlete in triathlons. And he decided, I lost my leg. I'm going to still live, right? And he decided to become a triathlete. And I think he still holds the record for the Hawaiian Ironman, for the fastest Ironman for a paraplegic athlete. Anyway, the point is, on one of his triathlons, on the bike portion, a van hits him, and he becomes a quadriplegic. Think about that. You crazy. Not only does he lose his leg in a motorcycle accident, and then becomes an inspiration to become a paraplegic athlete or a disabled athlete, he gets hit by a van, becomes a quadriplegic. Now he can't use any of his limbs. He becomes a motivational speaker. He goes on to Oprah, and his line that he uses is choose life. As long as he's got a mind, he doesn't determine his limitations by what he can do physically, but what he can do with his mind. He changes perception from this. And let me tell you something. He's not superhuman. He wasn't superhuman. He's gone now. He died. But man, did he live? Did he live? He chose life over, victim, this shouldn't be happening to me. And if there's anyone that should have been angry with the world, it was Jim McLaren. But man, did he inspire me. I thought, man, I've got two arms, two legs. I've got a hardworking mind. I live in Burlington, Ontario, Canada. Are you kidding me? And I'm going to complain about small things? No. You've got gifts, you've got talents, you've got skills. Use them. Use them against your obstacles. Use them with your obstacles. And guess what? You're going to elevate your life. You're going to enhance your life. And you're going to empower and inspire the people around you. I hope that really helps you. And man, I get charged about this stuff because I know each and every person listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, wherever you are, whoever you are, I'm here to support your growth. I'm here to support your successes. I'm here to help you be happier and more fulfilled and make the best contribution possible as you live this life, because no one's going to live this life but you. Amen to that. Hey, Kenner Cam, how you doing, man?
Oh, man. How are you doing? Obviously, really good.
I'm so charged about this stuff, man.
Yeah. I get it. Dude, I get it, though. Like, after, like those conversations where after you're done, you're, like, pumped, and you're like, okay, I really want to live life now. It's one of those, I feel that just by listening. Yeah, okay, so I have a few things to say about the obstacle is the way. So, in my life, I've done a lot just a 20-year-old. Like, I've been able to create a lot and put it out there and work my ass off, and none of it has really taken off. None of it has really you know how you push a boulder up a mountain and then eventually it rolls down and you don't have to touch it, it just does the work for you. That's never happened yet, and I'm really, really grateful for it. Because as an example, with my first band with my brother, if that would have blown up, I probably wouldn't have gotten into self-help whatsoever. I probably would be an alcoholic right now, and I'd probably be partying and playing music and realizing that that's not what happiness is. You know, I'd be kind of empty inside while having my supposed dream come true. Yeah. But I felt something in me that said, you got to quit. You got to move on to new things. So I did that. And then I started a YouTube channel with my friend, and it sounds ridiculous, but we just sat around and made videos, and that didn't take off. And I'm extremely grateful for that because I learned even more. I got into spirituality after that. And then I started a company with my brother, Implicit. You know about that. And another big obstacle was just starting a company in general and all these different things and managing people and events and all this stuff. We had our own podcast too. We had like 90 episodes, man. Yeah. Like probably over 100. We did the 5 days a week as well. And that went nowhere. And I'm so grateful for it because the times where I've learned the most are the times where I seem to be in rock bottom, where I seem to be where I seem to have failed. And then I sit in my room by myself thinking about my supposed failure and looking at it from another point of view, and like I just learned so much. I remember I think it was Jim Carrey who said everything in life happens for you, and then he said, I actually don't know if that's true whatsoever, but I choose to look at it that way because that's how I'll learn. You can really look at it however you'd like. But if you have the frame of mind of this is happening for me, then you are the type of person, you're in a state of being that just milks life for what it is, takes all the good out of something. And that's, I think, another thing I realized is the success you're talking about, like Colonel Sanders selling his chicken recipe, Thomas Edison making the light bulb, all this stuff. I think the real form of success is who you are. Who have you become? Because if you become the type of person who, when something happens, instantly you are the most resourceful, you're learning, you're taking advantage of the situation, you're helping, you're turning, something bad into something good, that kind of thing. Then anything that comes your way, it doesn't matter what happens outside. Because, dude, I looked back at my other YouTube channel. We made 244 videos. And in the span of 4 months, we made 127. It was like a daily, all of us going crazy with it and trying to make as much content as possible. And we don't even have 1,000 subscribers yet. We have 550 something. And we burnt ourselves out. But I realized that even if I was to get what I apparently wanted, which was subscribers, views, and all this other stuff, I wouldn't be the person I am. I wouldn't have been able to take any situation and turn it into something good. I wouldn't have been at peace inside. I would have been just asking for more. So really, I think before you face this supposed obstacle, become the type of person who, even once you're over the obstacle, you don't see another one. You don't look out for it. Because what I'm trying to say is once you accomplish something, you're always going to want more. Get to the point where you're at peace now, so that once you accomplish something, you take it for what it is, and you're not like, all right, what's next? And you feel empty inside, because that's what happens. You just, like Jim Carrey as well said, I wish everybody could be rich and famous so that they can realize that's not what makes you happy.
Very good. Very good.
And so step off the treadmill of constantly trying to get someplace that you're never going to get to. And become the kind of person now who is successful just cause. I don't know. That's just obviously I have a lot more life to live, a lot more stuff to experience. But from what I'm seeing with what everyone's saying, that seems like the way to have like this clean source of happiness. You know how it's like gas is a dirty thing because it shoots out carbon dioxide, but clean energy is, solar and stuff. But they both produce energy, but what's the more efficient and sustainable way of producing energy, right? I think the most sustainable way of producing happiness is not external, it's internal. So
Amen. 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 And I think you make that tops off the show. I think we could probably end right there. That's a monumental way to look at things. And I think the biggest obstacle that we face on a daily basis is the internal obstacle of that ego, that inner cynic that says you're not good enough, or you can't do it, something, or you're being punished for past failures. That's also, I think, that internal obstacle that says, because I hurt this person, I deserve to be punished, or because I didn't follow through with what I said I was going to do, I don't deserve to be granted abundance or happiness or love. That's garbage. Forgive yourself. I think forgiveness has a lot to do. I think we can do a podcast on forgiveness, of course. I think that should be a podcast in and of itself. But remember, the obstacle is not there to hurt you or harm you. It's there to help you and guide you, and to help you realize your own greatness, and to express that greatness in various ways and various roles and delivery systems that you choose to express that greatness in, and changing the world, and changing your family, and changing yourself. So thank you guys for joining us. The Obstacle is the Way, Master Life Lesson number 5. I think we'll continue this next week. We'll do 5 more Master Life Lessons. We'll go right all the way to 10. And I'll extract from my repertoire of things I've learned over the past 15, 20 years being in the self-help industry, studying it and grinding it out, and facing my own demons, my own obstacles. So thank you for joining us. If you love this podcast, Power, Purpose, and Passion, you can subscribe, like, comment, share, whatever it is. We're here to serve you. We're to help you. And to kind of add to what Cam said, I don't care if I have 10 million subscribers. If I have 10 subscribers and those 10 subscribers are impacted deeply, and they go and change themselves and change the world, man, that to me is more important. It's all about depth first, not the quantity of people. It's about the quality of the wisdom and the impact and the quality of love that we bring to the world. So thank you guys for joining us. Live it up with power, purpose, and passion. God bless. We love you. We'll see you on our next show on Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.